This episode of Lore Drop is sponsored by Chad and Rachel Wolf. Thanks for listening from Kansas City, Mom and Dad. Like both of those fights, but like it was just so fun to figure out like how Brave like almost took down Captain Amazing.
I know. Oh my gosh, it was just so fun. I felt so strong. I felt so powerful. And I remember in that first rehearsal, I mean, to be completely candid, I was like, how in the world am I going to be able to do this or pull this off? But then by the end of it, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Welcome to Lore Drop, a Reinvent podcast. I'm Abby, the executive director of Reinvent Productions.
I'm Ben, the creative and artistic director.
And our third party member today is our friend.
Hello, my name is Sierra.
Sierra has done one Reinvent project with us so far. She was recently in Ordinary Heroes. She played Alex, which also meant that she played Brave. And so today we are going back, looking at Ordinary Heroes, and then also talking about what the Universe 17 Brave looks like. Brave was actually created specifically for Ordinary Heroes. She did not have a Universe 17 counterpart. But before we get into that, we must decide the most important part of the episode, which is what animated trio we are. And Sierra had a really good idea off mic. You want to share it?
Yes. So in JJK, my favorite show ever in the whole world,
Nice.
we are going to be Megami, Nobara, and Yuji.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who is who?
Oh, shoot. Let me think. I feel like you're Nobara.
Okay. I'll take it. I hate her, but that's fine.
Why?
She drives me crazy. I just like, I don't know. She's always rubbed me the wrong way where I just want to, every time she's on screen, I'm like,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I really like it because she just like is so firm in like what she believes, and she's not afraid to be like,
oh yeah. I think it's probably because I see too much of myself in her that I don't like her.
Yeah. Because I'll say I was very like neutral on Nobara until my second time watching it, and then I was like, oh, now I get you.
now I get it. No,
Yeah.
I think I agree with that.
I am passively rewatching that right now at work, which it's not really a show you can passively rewatch. So, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm trying to like her. I just don't. I think just the first time I watched it, I think it was too much of a mirror.
Oh. What a great character to be a mirror of, though.
Yeah.
I think she's so great.
That's why I didn't like Rainbow Dash as a kid either.
Oh my
man.
god.
I was so anti Rainbow Dash until I got to my adult years, and I was like,
dude, what?
Nope,
That's crazy.
that's
She's
the
so
pony I
cool.
am.
Yeah.
But
What do you think, Ben?
I don't know. Like
I think that Sierra's are Yuji.
yeah.
I choose.
Yeah.
I do.
Just no thoughts, just good vibes.
Just
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, we're caught up on the
on the dub of season
dub.
3. So we just saw Hikari's first appearance
Oh,
this week, and man,
obsessed.
I love Yuri Lowenthal, and I was like, oh, I forgot that he can do like not just like sweet boys.
No, it's good.
And I can already tell I'm gonna love Kirara.
You know what's crazy is I haven't even started season 3 yet. I'm waiting to get like most of the episodes out so I can just binge it.
That's so fair. It's been a tough one to watch week to week.
Yeah, it was like watching the last season of My Hero Academia week to week. That was painful.
Ooh.
See, I couldn't. Was there a delay? I feel like there was like a delay.
For My Hero, there was a 2-week delay between the sub and the dubs for them, because that was one that they were like, no, we want to take time to actually like make sure we're translating everything properly and doing the editing and everything.
Which like
JJK's got a
it.
1-week delay.
Yeah.
Right now.
So fair. At least they're doing it right. You know, like
Yeah, there are some. Sometimes I don't understand how Crunchyroll picks what shows they want to do like same day dub releases of. Because like one of those was In Love with the Villainous. That was the same day dub. And I was like, great show. But I was like, why is this random like romance isekai the one that is getting a same day dub? And then it was like Dan to Dan. It's like, okay, I kind of understand that one. That's super like was super popular and anticipated.
Like Vigilantes is getting the same week dub, isn't it?
Yeah, Vigilantes is getting same day.
Who can understand the mind
But yeah,
of Crunchyroll?
I do feel like as far as Megami goes, I feel very much like because he's someone who like changes so much depending on his vibes, depending on whatever the arc is.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like a first half of season 1 Megami right now.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the quiet, powerful boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's my type.
Oh, you don't say.
It's like that. Todoroki. Like, I love my Bakugo and Deku, but if I'm gonna date one of them, it's probably would have been Todoroki.
That's funny.
I need someone emotionally unavailable at the beginning of it, and then you wear them down.
Then you wear them down.
Okay.
You don't let them get away.
I'm not saying that's not how it went. That is not entirely
I'm learning
inaccurate.
so much about the lore right now.
There was a
Our first show together, I was just a sound guy.
yeah,
Oh.
and I was
Mhm.
dating somebody else.
Yeah.
What?
He was in the sound. Ben was in the sound. The friend zone, the sound booth,
Oh.
the friend zone sound
The
booth.
tea.
Yeah. Solid year and a half.
Mhm.
Were you acting in the show?
Yeah,
Oh.
I was Dory.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Wait. Finding Nemo? Wait.
No,
Oh.
no, Schoolhouse Rock. I sang the
I don't even remember which songs.
I sang Great American
yours-
Melting Pot. I sang
Was yours the verb one?
adjectives.
Adjectives.
Unpack your adjectives.
Yeah.
That's why I learned that I'm not an alto, because that song was too low for me.
Crazy.
Shoot. Okay, rock musical.
Yeah. That's one for reference, this was my sophomore year of college. And I went in, I had every intention of auditioning for the show. And then the head of our department comes up to me after our tech class, and he says, "So you're going to be sound designing, right?" And I said, "Excuse me." And he said, "Yeah, our old like stage management teacher, she recommended you for sound designer." And I said, "This is news to me. I did plan on auditioning tonight, but okay, I guess."
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Well, then the next project we worked on together was Spring Awakening.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We had to put that show
Yeah, I was
together.
just backstage crew.
Yeah, we were backstage crew for that, but it was also our tech week happened during an ice storm
Oh.
in Missouri.
Yeah.
What?
And-
So
okay.
yeah, 2 of our tech rehearsals got canceled because there was like
What?
6 inches of snow.
Yeah, and like an inch of ice on the ground.
Mhm.
And this is in Missouri where they actually know how snow works.
Yeah,
But the day one we were like enjoying the snow day and whatever, and then day
but
two.
we still went up to work on the set stuff.
yeah.
It was very funny because one of our film professors comes in holding his baby, and he just looks at me as I'm like I was drilling something into the ground, and he just looks at me. He's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm just like, "What are you doing here? What do you have your kid?"
With your child in your
Yeah.
arms.
Yeah, we didn't even our college campus was so long, but it was about a mile because literally our dorm
Opposite side of
opposite
campus
side of
to
campus.
the theater building.
Yeah,
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
so it was about a mile walk to get to.
Mhm.
in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was safer for us to walk there than it was to drive there.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We were dedicated.
I bet you were like used to the snow though.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the snow. You had done winter in Germany,
Yeah.
so it wasn't that.
I was used to snow, but not like the extreme cold was the crazy thing for me.
Yeah.
No, I was
Like bone chilling
Mhm.
cold.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad. But
I
yeah,
remember my first semester. I would walk. My first class Monday, Wednesday, Fridays was theater or intro to theater, and so I had to walk to. It was in the like athletic complex for whatever reason is where this class was because they were just
Oh.
like that's the room that's available, I guess. So whenever it became like late fall into winter and like the wind really started picking up, that was like a 15-minute walk from the dorms, and so that was actually painful to make that walk some days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
you'd figure out which buildings you could cut through to.
And I couldn't cut through any on that one. Yeah.
Oh. Got your steps in though.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how we got on this.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
I'm
because
loving
you
it
being
though.
the quiet, powerful
yeah.
boy that was stuck in the friend zone.
There we go.
Full circle. There we go. There
Nice.
we go. We're back. We're back.
Here we are. Here we are.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, cool.
Ooh.
So let's talk about Brave.
Awesome.
I'm ready.
Are we gonna still? Do we still want to start with talking about the Universe 17 version?
I want to mix it up this time, specifically with that. So, well, to talk about Brave, she's a character who shows up in Ordinary Heroes, specifically in Volume 3, Issue 3 of Ordinary Heroes. And for reference, the Reinvent multiverse works on this like train track type systems where Ordinary Heroes is in Universe 1. And so in Ordinary Heroes, Brave is a character written by Wendell who is inspired by his real life friend Alex. And that is very much like in Volume 3, Issue 3 features all these characters who are inspired by the real world people that he knew and grew up around.
You want to talk about what her power is?
Yeah. Brave's powers are that her physical strength, speed, agility, reflexes all increased by a proportional amount to her confidence. And that is one that, for reference, before Ordinary Heroes, I have this list somewhere in my computer of just, not somewhere, it's in my Google Drive stuff, of just like, here's a list of names that could be cool superhero and supervillain names.
I love that.
And so this is one that while writing, and I was like, and I was just like combing through this list, and I was like, what's one? Because I have like the grand spreadsheet for like the Reinvent Master tracking stuff, and I was like, okay, let me find characters that can fit for like some of these vibes, right? That's where I pulled like Circuit and the Fahrenheits and Book, and who else was there? Super Commando, Sleeper Agent, Miss Fortune was. No, she was not on that list.
Oh.
She was on, yeah. And so a lot of them came from the grand spreadsheet one. This other list, Miss Fortune was another one on the list of just names.
Ah.
And so it was Brave, Miss Fortune. There was someone else who was on that list too.
Bard?
The Bard, yes. Yeah, the Bard was another one on that list of just like, I don't know. But yeah, those were three in particular.
Then Justin Gonzalez just ran with it.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I loved it. I
Yeah.
just wanted those boots to make an appearance so
Me
badly.
too. Oh man. But
The Crocs were really funny.
The
though.
Crocs
Yeah.
were funny.
so that was one that like looking through the list, it was sort of like the name just stuck out to me. I was like, ooh, this would work really well to pair up with Alex's counterpart in this scene. And it was one that when I started writing it, and I was like, I don't even know what the powers are going to be, but I know that she's going to show up and fight Super Commando, and is going to be one of the last like the last like new one to show up, right? I think it was around the time that we were doing the rehearsal sessions where we were choreographing those fights that I sat there brainstorming that day, and I was like, okay, now I need to figure out what the powers are. And it was one that like I'm a firm believer, especially when it comes to superhero stuff, that a character's powers should be an extension of their personality, but also their like purpose in the story as well. And so with that, I remember in the writing process, the entirety of Volume 2, I was so paranoid. I asked so many people when writing that, and I was like, hey, does Alex feel like a nothing burger of a character? Does she feel like someone who just comes in and solves Wendell's problems and leaves? And like from getting enough people say no, it's a very like realistic type of thing to have this figure in your life.
No, especially as a military child, because like it's the idea of friendships that they are on a time limit, especially like. I mean, by the time we were in high school, internet was like a bigger thing. Like we could stay more connected, but it still was like kind of like on that edge of like, are we going to stay connected and all of that. So very realistic in my mind.
Yeah. Well, and especially for reference, I didn't get my first smartphone until freshman year of college. I was on a little old prepaid like pay by the minute, pay by the text phone
Was
all
it a
through high
BlackBerry?
school. It was not a BlackBerry. It was a track phone.
Oh.
My first one was those. It was lime green. It was one of those.
Yeah, it's the flip.
Yeah,
Oh. You were the cool one.
it was so cool, and I had unlimited texting too.
Oh shoot.
Man, that's crazy.
That was the
Could not
coolest thing.
imagine.
I
Oh
felt
my
so
gosh.
cool.
But so looking at that was what inspired the idea of like, no, this is a character whose confidence is the source of their strength,
Yeah.
and that they are able to get through whatever it is with that, right? And so that mirroring Alex's personality in the rest of the play, but also like the purpose of that character is to arrive is to inspire confidence in the other people around her as well.
I love that. Yeah, it's super cool.
And so that's especially why Sneak and Book are like, we know exactly who to ask for help here at our last chance.
We know someone who can beat this guy up.
Yeah. But yeah, and that is to say that in Ordinary Heroes, Braves, notable allies are, of course, Sneak and Book are the ones we see or interact with most. And then main adversary is Super Commando.
Number one
there's
up.
like there's like a 2 lines hint of like, oh, they fought before in the past.
Yeah,
And then she gets a cool fight with Captain Amazing as well.
yeah, yeah.
So after that, I went and sort of superimposed some extra backstory in the Universe 17 version and came up with some ideas for that one. And so Universe 17 is like the main universe continuity stuff that we get. That's much more D&D inspired. And so in this one, in Universe 17, Brave, she is a human who develops superpowers after surviving very tragic events that happen on her birthday. In the Reinvent universe in Universe 17, there's a class of beings known as Hypers, sort of like the Reinvent version of mutants from Marvel. Where they like develop powers at some point in early childhood. But the thing with Hypers is that they develop their powers after a near-death experience.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. And so the thing is, and this is kind of the messed up thing, but I think it's also indicative of like the character. Her birthday is September 11th, 2001. And so she was born on 9/11, and that is also the day that she gets those powers as a child, as a baby. And so from there is able to then go on and grow up into a younger hero in the Reinvent world from there. But some of her notable allies then in the mainline universe would be Captain Amazing, the Hero Triplets, and Nightbird. And then a notable adversary is Project Alpha. But yeah, that is that.
Cool. So she's a Virgo.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Because I think the thought popped into my head of like, this is it's an ironic thing in a way, but also I remember very specifically there's Marvel released a comic book sort of in memory and honoring 9/11 victims that the whole comic book was featuring like this monologue from various characters, and it showed like in a break there wasn't like an action, there wasn't fighting happening in this comic book. It was entirely the heroes like helping rebuild from the ground up, right? And I remember very specifically reading through this. There's like a shot near like the midway point of the comic book where it shows like some supervillains just there like in the background, just like observing. And one of them it shows is Doctor Doom, and it just does like a super close up on his face to see his eyes under the mask, and he is like crying. And I was like, ooh. That hurts. But the vibe of having a superhero whose whole thing comes from confidence in that sense, and being that tied to like one of the great American tragedies is very interesting to me. There's a lot of room for fascinating like symbolism and other stuff. Because that's also like we don't have anyone that is like a Captain America type figure here, right?
Yeah.
There's no like no one that we stick a flag on top of and say this is their whole shtick as a superhero.
Yeah.
But I think that concept of like it would be so very easy to lose hope in that kind of situation in that instance, and to continue on past that sort of to me struck as like the spiritual way to bring that idea from Ordinary Heroes of like this is this character's purpose is to be inspiring.
Yeah.
And to move it in this way.
Well, inspiring, and I think like that shows resilience, you know what I mean? To come back from something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and so within Universe 17, there's like certain events like in just world history that we've been like, okay, yes, this happens. This doesn't happen. Like there's in 2020, where like COVID doesn't happen.
Yes.
But something else happens.
Mm-hmm.
We trade COVID for an alien invasion
in 2025.
in 2025. Yeah. So it's like we don't have a pandemic, but we do get a crazy alien invasion that happens later.
Wow.
And an 8-day war and all that jazz. And I think like we've talked about like the what the other world wars that there's like different inciting incidents for those wars, but they still happen. So I was like, whenever you were saying like, oh, here's the idea for this, like, oh, it's interesting that like that is still a tragedy that happens within this universe.
Wow, yeah, that is
17.
really interesting.
I really liked Brave, like just like in general, just like the concept of her showing up at the very end. I was like, yes, this is great. Just because like we had like hints throughout the story that like Wendell was getting progressively better at writing female characters.
Yeah.
And like when I met you, I thought that you were pretty good at writing female characters already.
Thanks.
I feel like I do feel like whenever we started dating, you got better at it.
Oh yeah.
That just stories got more dynamic, and like after we started dating, it was like that's when we added a counterpart for Andrew Blood. Like we gave him a partner and all of that, and like you like really dove into Beauregard's story, who's like the soon to be future husband of my character Aurora Remington. So it's just been fun to see you develop not only like how you write your female characters, but then like how you write characters that are in relation with each other. It's not just we're gonna fight now or like it's just been you leveled up as you go, and I think that just happens with writers in general. Like as you grow up and you experience life more, you understand how to write better because you've experienced more life. Not that young writers can't be good writers, but there is something to be said about experiencing life.
Yeah. There's extra nuance that comes in.
Yeah.
As you continue developing your writing.
Yeah. I mean, because this might get me some hate from other theater practitioners, but it's the same thing with acting. I am never, ever going to ask a high schooler to do Tennessee Williams. Like, ever. Because I'm just like, the majority of y'all do not have the baggage to be able to understand what you're saying and what you're portraying. And even those who do have a bit of the baggage needed to like understand that, I'm like, I don't want a child doing this stuff. Like, like it's just, there's certain things that I do think like it's important to like experience life. Then let's engage with the art, which I really liked that we had adults playing the kid characters in Ordinary Heroes, because we did like kind of go back and forth for a while, like if I was gonna have teenagers play those characters, and I'm glad we didn't. Yeah, because between Sierra and then like Sam, like just the portrayal of like growing up, Sam was brilliant. Like, being able to like have the 12-year-old version and then the teenage version and then the college version of you, and then interacting with you, Sierra, as a teenager. Like I just tooting my own horn. It was perfect casting. Just because like y'all had experienced being teenagers already, so stepping back into that wasn't as much of a challenge as it would be moving forward. But not to say that that teenagers couldn't have done a great job in that. But I know that there's always like the jokes of like people looking at High School Musical, like these like 25-year-olds playing teenagers, and it's like we really trying to like pull this off, but I think it's easier to get away with it with stage stuff because you're not as close up.
Yeah, and I look so young. You know, I'm just aging so well.
I mean, I'm in the same boat. Like I was like, I think I have like a solid 10 more years of being able to play like at least like Little Red into the Woods. I was like, I think I could play. Probably got a solid 10 more years left of this.
Oh man, you would be brilliant in that.
I would.
Let's make it happen.
I would really like to do that. I got to wear the Little Red costume from
I saw that on your Snapchat. Yes.
Yeah, we did a little cast party for Ben's kids.
Ben, and you sang too.
I did.
Wow.
And everybody was like,
and none of the kids took a video, so there's no proof that any of them have access to,
Abby
which is
took a
really
video.
funny.
I took a video.
No, but the thing is that I keep any sort of like singing musical ability very like close to the vest. It's just I have no problem with musicals, but it's just not something I go out for very often.
Yeah.
Well, one of your students, like when they had like they were like going back and forth with me, and they were like, "Oh, we know Smith doesn't like to sing," and I was like, it's not true. It's like Smith loves to sing.
I just don't know as many musicals as a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So that was one that like going into that, I did not warn the kids at all, and so I just like broke it out, and it was very funny to see them be like, "Huh?"
The whole room
they lost their minds.
was just like,
What?
And yeah, and then none of them had the forethought to whip out their phones and get a video of it themselves. And so I was like, ha.
Well, now
I have
I'm
the
jealous.
footage.
I want to hear you sing now.
Well, at the end of the year, there will be a video of us singing together because
Oh.
Ben's kids are having us sing "It Takes 2" from Into the Woods for their like.
Yeah. I'm doing a thing with our end of the year showcase where I'm letting my seniors pick what I do. And so I'm like, you guys pick together and just let me know and I'll work on it. And so
Mrs.
Oh,
Smith
that's
has been very involved with the kids this year, so
Yeah.
they're
Oh.
like, let's get have you to sing too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, heck yeah.
I bet you guys are so great with those kids.
yeah, love them.
So, Sierra, you've been around Lubbock performing arts scene for a while because I remember watching you a couple of years ago being like, man, I want to get her in something. And we just like were not crossing paths enough. But I would like see you perform and be like, she's really good and I want to work with her in something.
Well, it's mutual. That's how I felt that way for
Yeah.
a long time.
So I was really excited when you were able to come do the read with us, and then when you were like said yes to like taking on the role. Compared to some of the other stuff you've done in Lubbock, like what was it like tackling a role like this? Like not only that was a teenager, but then also got to be a superhero.
I knew from the second I read this, like, of course, I've always wanted to work with you, and I've never done any stage combat, so I'll touch like on that in a second. But I remember like sitting there in the first read and just listening to the story and just being so moved. I think it's such an important story to hear because I feel like as a generation and I mean, maybe not generation, like maybe that's not the right word, but like as a society, like there's a disconnect happening. And I feel like listening to a story where there is so much connection and like Wendell being able to be like uplifted and taken care of by his community and also like being so cared for and able to like move through this world and grow up. I think it's like such a beautiful story that I feel like touched a lot of people. You know, I feel like as actors, when we get on the stage and we portray something, it's like you have to ask the question of like, who is this for? Right. And it's for the person in the audience who's paying you because maybe they don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're telling that story. I'm sure like there are people who are in the audience who saw themselves in these characters. And I know like I grew up and I struggled a lot like with some similar feelings that Wendell was feeling. And I've also been in the position where I was also Alex, where I cared about the people in my life so much that I wanted to, take care of them and love them. And I think that was what was so special to me, being able to portray this character, is that, I think it was just such a special story, like for me specifically, and like being able to go there, like I feel like it was cathartic for me to be like, oh my God, like, I want to call all my friends that I have known from high school and just give them a big hug as well, because it just made me realize like I've been so loved my entire life. And then also to get on stage and, and love Wendell's character as Alex, like I was like, this is so special to me. So I think like not often am I able to like get on stage and play a character where, I'm able to just really love somebody on stage like that, vulnerable and authentically. And that was something that was really special to me, to be able to tell that story and also to kind of play a younger character. I don't often get to play a younger character. So that was also really fun. And then to speak on the stage combat aspect, I don't really get it. I mean, I dance, like I do musical theater, but like getting in my body in a way that makes me feel strong was something that was really crazy for me. Like I remember in the first stage combat rehearsal, like I remember like looking at you and you like came and I was able to lean on you for a second because you were like helping me, because I was like, this is so new for me.
Yeah.
And I remember just kind of being in my head for a second. I'm like, I am 5'2", like I ain't beating nobody up. But then
like the stuff that we were able to make for both your stuff against JD and then your stuff against Hayden, I loved the stuff that we made for like both of those fights. But like was just so fun to figure out like how Brave like almost took down
Yeah.
Captain
I
Amazing.
know. Oh my gosh, it was just so fun. I felt so strong. I felt so powerful. And I remember in that first rehearsal, I mean, to be completely candid, I was like, how in the world am I going to be able to do this or pull this off? But then by the end of it, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's
I
like
could beat him up.
I really do think this is something that Justin and I have talked about a lot, is that dancers make really good stunt people, because like dancers, like, you know how to pick up choreography, and like they're more often than not, dancers have like a pretty good awareness of their body. And so translating that into violence, like it's not as many steps to like code switch for that. And something that I noticed when I started like doing like more intensive training with stage combat during my years as a master's student, my dancing got a lot better. Because I was like, oh, I know how to pick up the fighting choreography, mostly because I did martial arts as a kid. And so that was like, even though I was like doing musical theater at the same time, like I wasn't in dance classes. So like the only dance experience I was getting was like if I got cast in a show where they let me dance, which is very rare, which is fine. I understand why they weren't putting me in there. I did not have control over my body, at least as a dancer. But it is something that like I have found, like when I take ballet classes, that I feel very strong and powerful and like and beautiful. Like that's like a thing for me with dance. And then like with stage combat, it can just be like really like you do feel really good, especially when you get the feedback from other people of like the oh shoot, or like whatever. Like if you get like the good pop, which like that's why it's part of the reason why I try to be pretty vocal with feedback, so that way people are like, oh, one, it'll get you ready for it.
Yeah.
For when the audience like inevitably like makes a noise that you're like, what the heck? Because we do encourage our audiences to be a little bit more interactive than contemporary theater audiences are.
I love it. Like I loved that.
But I think that that's like part of it, is that like whenever like I have been actively like reading a comic book or a novel or something where I've had a vocal reaction to it, and I'm like, why can't we do the same thing with theater? Like, do you ever read the Divergent books?
No.
Okay.
But I feel like I would be obsessed.
You would. And the thing is, I was Allegiant, which is the third book in that series. If you know what part I'm talking about. But that book, I had such a visceral reaction to it. I threw the book across the room.
Oh, shoot.
Because I was so angry with what happens. And it wasn't even like at the end of the book. It was like 2/3 of the way through, and I was like, "What's happening?" And it took me a second, but like that's the thing with like stories, that they do get like big emotional reactions out of us. And I was a teenager, so like feelings were through the roof. But I think the same thing happens like if you're watching a really cool fight, like with watching WWE, like those people are not being quiet.
No.
In the crowd. They are encouraged to be loud. To the point where like if the storytellers aren't doing their job, they pipe in boos or cheers because they're like, oh no, we didn't do our job.
Oh man, WWE was so awkward during COVID, because they would still do the shows, but they would just be the wrestlers by themselves in an empty building, no crowd or anything. So you just hear all of the noises that like
the
they're making.
The echoing of the body hitting the mat.
It was the funniest thing was that they still had like the TV commentators there, and so the wrestlers could then just hear the commentators, and so they would just stop in the middle of the match and start trash talking the commentators. That was funny, but most of it was just exceedingly awkward.
Well, and there's a book that I had to read it to write it was for my writing diagnostic exam that I had to do before coming to tech. And it was a book called Audience as Performer by Caroline something. It's a good book. I used it for my thesis as well. But like the idea that the audience for a production is a player when it comes to live performance, and there are just certain performances like WWE where it's more encouraged for the audience to be an active participant in it. And it used to be that way with theater. It was in the 1800s whenever lights got invented, where they started training people to like, once the lights are out, you're quiet, shut up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, we lost it. Because like the whole thing with like Shakespeare, like a lot of those asides that are happening are like, once the internal thing, but it's like, it was for the characters to be able to like, the actors to like directly engage with the audience.
Yeah. You're
And
like, hey, you in the front row, I know you haven't been paying attention the last 20 minutes because I've seen you. Here's what you missed.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
and the audience was encouraged to talk back
Yeah.
at them. And I'm just like, man, that's just fun. And I think that there's a balance. There's a balance.
Mhm.
Like
Right. Like know the etiquette.
there was a performance of What If that it's the one that we have recorded where I almost
Yeah.
crashed out because there was a certain person that started.
Bright Star had a line about the line was, my family couldn't even afford a second boat growing up. And then one person in the audience very loudly just
Obnoxiously
screamed,
boo.
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 And
And
it's
then
like,
me,
the sentiment, yes, I understand the sentiment,
but
not right now.
But I was also just like, there was music underneath it, and I was like not happy. I was not happy with like, because at that point, Julia had just been my student at Tech, so like we were just now like becoming friends. So like protective teacher mode was like, how dare you boo my student?
Yeah.
And I literally in the recording, you see me being like, hold on, and to like be able to get that person to shut up and get back on track, because the next line was me saying like, are you monologuing right now?
Yeah.
That situation where I don't want that.
Yeah.
One of Andrew Aguilar's
Oh
friends.
my gosh, I was wondering if we were going to bring
Oh
that up.
my
The
gosh,
second
that
you
one was
said boo,
crazy.
I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, one of Andrew's friends during another one that we recorded, the first line
First night we
that
were recording.
the first
Yeah.
line that Andrew said, somebody booed him, and I was like I literally did just like want to like fourth wall.
Well, I remember we were in the booth because it was whoever it was. They were like right in the back row, and we were just like, "Was that Noah?" And we're like, "No, there's no way."
Yeah,
No.
no, they
No,
have
Noah
sibling
would never,
rivalry,
yeah.
but not that.
Yeah, not disrupt a show, sibling rivalry.
No. Well, and I like,
Well, I think Andrew said that friend just like doesn't know theater etiquette,
which is fine.
yeah.
It's fine.
and that's good. We want people in the audience who
Yeah.
doesn't normally like, go to the theater because, we
That's how
want
we-
people to come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we get more people to come in the
Yeah.
future.
So here's the etiquette. Don't boo people.
like, yeah,
If it's
read the
not
room.
yeah, read the room, read the moment. Like,
Yeah.
you know what's a really great moment to boo someone? When
When a bad guy
when
is-
Witch Doctor shows up in
Boo.
Volume 3, Issue
Boo
3,
Witch
when she
Doctor
says,
then.
"Does someone need a doctor?" That's a perfect moment to boo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to boo.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't throw off the actors. Like, I
Yes,
think
no,
that's
exactly.
the thing,
Yeah.
Don't do something to get a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a loud
'Cause
audience
that's-
member. I'm gonna be honest.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
something
Oh,
happens
same.
and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
and like
I-
I've
I-
had friends who will invite me to watch like their final dress so that their actors can get used to stuff because they know that I'm like a responsive
Yeah.
audience member.
Yeah.
And like it really is like it doesn't take a lot for me. So if I am quiet watching your show, it's like it's not a good sign.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like it doesn't take a
When-
lot.
I remember this was very funny, but during it was our first year at Texas Tech, when Sweet Charity was happening. I went to the preview for that one, and I was sitting with one of the assistant directors just out there at the house. And this one that like when I get like wrapped up in a show, I'm just like reacting. I'm just going, my
right.
body just reacts. And so it's like at like the closing monologue or whatever, and I think she says something about like, "Oh, I'll be okay," and I just verbally didn't realize how loud I was about to be, but I was like, "Yeah, you will." And then it was one of those, the audience just started laughing, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And the assistant director, he was like, "That was so funny."
Yeah.
But
I love that.
and then I think like you were saying that because you were backstage for that, and like the rest of the actors backstage were all able to hear it. They were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Okay, cool." But yeah, that's a different thing. But on the other side of it, when I was doing Antelope Party, there's the specific scene when like
Did you see this show?
Antelope Party.
mhm,
Yeah.
Where? At Tech?
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think-
When was
so
this?
that was
it was
Ben's
October
last
last
year, so
year,
you were
October
already-
24.
I was already, because
Yeah.
Sweet Charity was my last show at Tech.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Okay.
it's funny because you were
Yeah.
mentioning that moment, and I was like, man, do I remember that? And I feel like I remember that. Like
Yeah.
I feel like like us as a cast were like talking about that.
That's
But
so funny.
anyway, Antelope Party.
Yeah. But there's a moment when like the Maggie is like the character of Sean turns into an incel by the end of the show, and Maggie basically like shoves him and like runs away, and so the audience is like, yeah, it's one of those that like afterwards and like running and the entire tech week I was like, cool, I got used to just quiet house and everything. Opening night, that scene happens and I get pushed over and Maggie leaves and the audience is cheering so loud, and I'm still out there on stage because I have another line to say before I leave. And so I was just like in
You're
my
like,
brain, I was like,
wait,
this is
wait.
awesome. I love this so much. Please let me say my line so I can leave.
Well, and that was like something I remember. So I did the intimacy and fight for that show, and it was so funny because Dr. Gilbert, he was my thesis chair and then was on Ben's thesis committee, and I remember him being like, "Oh, are you gonna be okay blocking your husband because he had to kiss somebody and all that?" And I was just like, I don't
We're
care. It was like,
adults.
it's just work.
Yeah.
And like Naomi, who played Maggie, I was like, I've worked with her before and she's a
Yeah.
pro and all that. So I'm like, whatever.
She's so good.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
She's so good.
But I remember us setting that fight, and I think I do remember Dr. Gilbert and I having a conversation because I set the tussle with you guys, and he was like, I think that this is gonna get a big reaction from people, and I was like,
was
I
right.
sure hope so. And then when it happened, it was like a
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah, it was
Good.
awesome. hmm
Yeah, we want people to be touched and
Yeah.
to react, to live in that moment with us.
react to the incel being
Because there was, and this
knocked
is
out.
on the opposite end of the spectrum. When we did Cycles, there was like in that show that was like almost entirely stage combat, and it ends the last fight in the show. There's this big villain character who is fighting off 6 of us at the same time, and so we finally like. There's an earlier version of the scene where they do the fight and they lose, and then they get the last 2 characters in, and we're about to win. And I remember very specifically one of the other characters is going to go in for like a killing shot. And so in this stage, I remember when we were choreographing that we were like, oh, someone's got to like save him. And I was like, I think that's me. So I remember when we did the performance in front of the audience and I went to like block the kill shot and someone in the audience was like, Ben, come on.
It was Alice.
Yeah.
It was Alice.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to work with Alice Bryant?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They were the lead in a Word, which was my first show I ever
Oh.
did
Oh my
at Tech.
gosh.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So when Alice watched
Yeah.
Cycles, I remember there were so many moments that were like great, like horror film moments. And from one of the camera angles, you can hear them saying like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Get away from them.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it? And then like
Oh, yeah.
it was when Ben
Little
and I
zombie
were like
moment.
zombies
Yeah.
and like grabbed
Oh
on
my
to,
God.
to
Yeah.
Mia, and like you can hear Alice just being like, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah.
Oh my
It's so
gosh,
good.
I love that.
But yeah, no, it is like the thing again, like another thing that Justin and I have talked about, like with the idea of like action driven theater, that or theater of hoplology, as I put in my
Oh, wait, say that word
Fancy
again.
word.
so hoplology, it comes from the Greek word hoplon, which like was shield, and then like would also be like a name for a Greek soldier. But hoplology is the study of human combative behavior.
Oh,
And like
shoot.
a lot of it is like the execution of it. So like the performance of it.
Yeah.
And there was a book that's written by an SAFD member that I was reading towards the end of me finishing like writing my thesis, and I learned that word, and I was like, that's the kind of theater I do, is theater of hoplology, of like the idea of like doing theater that is very much driven by the action of the show. And I will say the Hoplols show I've done has been Cycles.
Yeah.
Like What If and Lady Legacy and Ordinary Heroes had a lot of violence in it, but I wouldn't necessarily say that those are theater of hoplology
Right.
shows. But they're close. They're like
Yeah.
cousins. They hang out together.
There's like the different in Cycles, like the fights were the storytelling.
Yes. yeah, the fights were so like Cycles was
It was Justin's thesis.
yeah.
I think I do. Like, I think I was there
Nice.
Yes.
when that was happening because I remember walking into one of the rehearsals one time and it was just everyone like, did everyone have sticks at some point?
Yep.
I remember being like, what? I want to be part of this
Nice.
party. Like, what
yeah,
is
but
going
that's
on?
that's what this tattoo is.
What?
Yeah.
You know,
so-
and I always stare at that and I'm like,
Yeah.
what does
so
that mean?
so
I
that
love
was
it.
that was the show, and there were 42 scenes in it, and I think like 90% of the show was stage combat that we were telling the story
That
through.
is so cool.
And I know.
I bet you're exhausted by the end of it though.
Yes, but oh man, that was the best shape of my life I've ever been in. Trying to get back to that point right now because like it really was like I look back at pictures of that and I was like, man, I was like I looked good. in that show.
You still look good, girl. You still look
Yeah.
good. Listen.
But it that was like well, in that show in particular was such a turning point for me as an artist because it was that experience was the thing that made it click in my head. I was like, oh, I do device theater all the time because I play D&D, and that's like what directly after doing Cycles I started because that's when Justin graduated. He moved back to Atlanta, and I started like getting ready to write my thesis, and that's when I was in residency with LCT. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we can do like another Cycles type thing, maybe.
Oh.
So during that spring of my second year doing my MA, I taught stage combat, and that's how I met Jules. And actually, that was my first time having Sam. That was when I had Sam as a student. And working with Julia, I was like, hey, I might be doing a thing over the summer. Would you want to keep doing stuff like this? And so, because I was like, hey, after I'm done being your teacher, we can be friends. Because I thought that she was super cool. And like you just like know those like people that like you just like are.
You just click, you know.
I'm like, I would really like to be your friend.
Yeah. Friend crush. I always call it a friend crush.
Yeah, I
That
like
is
call
called
it
a squish
A
in the
squish.
asexual
A
community.
squish. Oh,
Yep.
I love squishes. So doing Cycles sprouted the idea of like being able to do What If, and like I really do like credit a lot of like what we do now to like doing Cycles.
Yeah.
man, it started it all.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Yeah. Well, and I'm hoping at some point we get to either through Reinvent or like through a different way, like getting to help Justin remount that show, just because it was a great experience, and it was like a great learning experience. There were some terrible things that happened with that show.
Oh, no.
But it still was like overall I look back on that experience very fondly and like would totally do it again, especially with people that get it. But yeah, I feel, and circling back to Brave, I think what's cool about like these theatrical experiences that we're sharing with each other is that it's letting us come up with like new things. Like if we had anybody else play Brave, I think that would have affected how the Universe 17 version of her turned out. Just because like every actor is going to bring something different to the character. And like I remember like giving you like the initial direction. I was like, Alex is the coolest girl you ever meet. And like that stereotype of like the cool girl who later on in life you find out probably didn't like boys or whatever.
We all know her. We all love her.
But and you took that direction, you ran with it, and I was like, great, awesome. And I really do like what you brought to her, like taking that cool girl persona and making it a superhero persona.
Yeah.
Just with like the little bit of dialogue that you had with Brave, like you just nailed it. With what we were wanting. I realized that there was like a lot of stuff just because of how short the process was. I wasn't able to give people as much like direct feedback but like everybody's performance. I was like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
And like the
It was
fact that everybody
incredible.
was just doing their job, I was like, I forgot to like emphasize, like to cement it in being like, hey, you're doing what I want you to do. Great job.
Yeah.
I was just so grateful that everybody was doing their job, so I forgot to verbalize it.
You did it. You did a good job. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like you did do great at that.
But it was just, especially since real life Alex is a person I've never met, probably will never meet. Don't know how I would ever meet her. I mean, like I say that and probably get an email from her next week being like, hey, let's meet. So Alex, if you're listening to the podcast, email us.
Alex, I have a squish on you.
But like I've said this before, that like Alex is someone that like I'm super grateful to, because she shaped like really important parts of you that are that have just grown as we've like grown together, like as people, like we were growing up as friends. Because like it really is like when you go to college, like you think you're like, oh man, I'm so old and whatever. And like we got married when we were 22, and we we were like fresh out of college, and then like we're hitting 6 years of marriage this year, and like it is just like one of those things where we look back, I was like, we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
We were children. We had no idea what we were doing. And like there are times where I still feel like I feel like I'm still a kid, and I don't, even though I get closer to 30 every day. But the impact that Alex had on you has just, I mean, like we have a company now that we're telling stories with, that like I don't think this would have happened without you crossing paths with her.
Oh, absolutely. Well, here's an extra bit of detail that like so what was really important to me as well in writing it was to make it clear that there isn't a romantic relationship between Wendell and Alex. It is pretty entirely platonic.
Yeah.
And so most of this, the real world Alex, fun fact, I dated her sister when I was in high school, but I was friends with Alex before and after that whole relationship. But and Alex was genuinely my first friend in 10th grade, in my second high school, moving on and everything. And I would say like inadvertently for sure, because Alex had always been doing the theater stuff there. She was like the go-to stage manager in my high school. And I remember I took theater 11th grade, and that was one that I was like, I'm just in the classes, whatever, right? And then I decided to take it again my 12th grade year, because they introduced advanced drama is what they called it. And it was just, they were like, just take it again. It's basically the same. It was not the same because it was a different teacher, and I love Miss Hens so much. But it was, in the weirdest way, it was Alex's sister, when we were still dating, was said, hey, you should audition for the play. And I said, sure, I'll do it. I'll audition for it, because I was like, I don't know, whatever. And then I got cast, and then she broke up with me. And so from there I was like, well, I'm in this play now, and I have a bunch of new people to be around. But like I said, Alex was our stage manager and was there and was very supportive and like, no, you'll enjoy this. Stick around. It'll be fun. And so even like to that extent of like a theater gateway even.
Wow.
Well, and that play was Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yeah.
He played Dr. Einstein.
Oh
It was a lot
my
of fun.
goodness. Oh
Which
my
is
goodness.
really,
Love that play.
it's a fun little Easter egg fact that my dad
Mhm.
also played Dr. Einstein.
Yeah.
in high school.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
So just fun little
No, I love
parallels.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the butterfly effect is crazy, and and I mean, like I mean, spiritually, I do believe that like everything is like divinely put together, and
Yeah.
I'm really grateful with the choices that have been made that lead us to where we are now. And then we just get to hang out with really cool people.
that. Yeah.
I mean, even though the whole thing is that we did not intend to stay in Lubbock,
Yeah.
and we made friends doing the superhero show, and
Yeah.
now we're here. We got
Yeah.
Sierra at our kitchen table.
And here I
finally.
am. and
Yeah.
I'm so happy I'm here, you guys. I really am.
This got a lot more nostalgic than
Yeah.
I anticipated it to
I
be.
love it so much. Like this is I'm learning so much, and I love that, you know.
Yeah.
Even hearing those like little tidbits about Alex, like that's so special to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, that adds so many layers, you know.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm just really glad that you did have a good friend, you know, and somebody that you like you could lean on and
Yeah.
things like that. I think that's so important, you know, to feel loved and cared for. So
Well, and I think it gives you a different perspective being a high school teacher now.
oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Like,
You see it. You see the little baby Wendells and Alexes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like seeing your students see our work and then like also like get really into it, because they are so hyped about doing What If. in
Oh.
April. Like they read the version of the script before it got updated and
Yeah.
they were like super into it. And I was
Mhm.
like, well, now I gotta like fix it and make it better for them because so that way they can
Yeah.
enjoy it even more. Because it is like a thing. I've mentioned this before of like that there have been times where I've been worried about the buy-in with people of being like, oh, it's like, here are our toys. Do you want to play with them? And like in my head, sometimes it's like people are going to be like, no, I don't want it. And they
Mhm.
throw it across the room and we're like, oh, okay. But we haven't had that.
Mm.
And I think the community that we're fostering is just such a good group of people.
Mhm.
And I think that everybody has been doing such a good job of like protecting that unity. And to make it easier for like new people to come in. Like that's like my whole goal is that like I want it to be a place where like no matter when you join us on a project, like you will be welcomed as long as you're willing to just have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's like, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like at the end of the day, we're doing community theater about superheroes and spies and pirates. Like,
Yeah.
it ain't that deep.
And if I may speak on that for a second, being somebody who is relatively like new to, you know, this group. Now I knew a lot of people coming into the show, right? But I remember when I first like took it, I was like, oh man, I'm kind of nervous, you know, and I'm just being vulnerable and honest
Yeah.
here for a second, you know, because especially like with my job and stuff like that, like I always worry about like my availability and stuff like that. And I was going through when I remember when I did the first reading with all of us as a cast, I was like, man, I am going through it right now. Like I am struggling. And I remember that show. I mean, it's been a long time since I was like, this is like the light in the darkness for me. Like everyone, oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
Everyone was so accepting and so kind. And I really looked forward to it every single day. And I think like, especially like, you know, being an actor and doing community theater, you know, a lot of the times it's like, well, why do you go? And it's like, yes, I love to act and yes, I love my art, but more than anything, I love the people that do it with me. And that show was incredible. It's as far as like community goes, like everybody was so kind, always so uplifting, and you could feel the love in that room, you know. And for me, like being like kind of like new to this, you know, world, I was so accepted and people would like talk to me and, you know, like I remember people were like, you look so strong. You look so good up there, like beating people up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you.
That was one of my favorite backstage moments was whenever we got Savannah's pictures. And like it specifically when the girlies were going through it, and we were like,
yes, yes.
Because there's a photo of you that I like calling the Black Widow photo, and it is it's so hot, and we were all just like, yes, Sarah, yes.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Yeah, it was just such a great time. And I honestly am also like, I've never really been into superheroes, but all of a sudden I'm like so into them. I'm
Yeah.
like, I love superheroes now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to see people fight all the time.
Yeah. And like, I mean, that's the thing that got me hooked into theater, like super hooked when I was 12. It was 2 shows. I saw Peter Pan, and then I saw West Side Story. And the girl who played Anybody's in West Side Story, I thought she was the coolest person ever. It was Delaney Milborn. It was, Andrew Milborn's one of Andrew Milborn's younger sisters. And I was like, I want that. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. So when I got to play Anybody's, that was like my last main stage show with the community theater I grew up doing. That was like a big moment for me of like being able to be like, oh, this is like a dream actually coming true. And getting to do like a musical where I got to fight. And I was also the only girl that didn't have to wear character shoes in that show. Like I got to wear my Converse. It was great.
Yeah, you did.
But it is just like those moments of, it's like I saw 2 older girls that I thought were the coolest people ever. Like when I saw Camille Yuri as Peter Pan and saw Delaney Milborn as Anybody's, I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't do as much musical theater anymore, but
You have a great voice, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, we recently just sang through the entirety of Hamilton for the Aquarius
Best
birthdays.
Hamilton I've ever heard.
That
Put her on Broadway.
Not Hamilton.
Wait, let's gender bend it. No, seriously.
It would be really fun. Another person, I texted Andrew, and I was like, "Listen, I'm gonna need you to keep your mouth shut whenever I'm rapping, because it's gonna sound like a white girl doing slam poetry. So I need you to
No.
shut up." Because Andrew Aguilar has a impeccable Lin-Manuel Miranda impression.
Oh my goodness.
He does.
Eerily good.
Yeah.
But it was pretty fun to, like, after doing my shot, I turned around and just saw Aguilar just like,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like, good. Okay, if I can get through my shot, then we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. It was so good.
Like,
You gave me chills. Like I literally, when you did my shot, what is that? What it's called? I'm literally the worst theater kid ever.
whatever like the big
I am not. No,
yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
I
Yeah.
literally was like, yes. And that was actually the first time. I mean, I couldn't stay for the whole read through, but like that was the first time I had heard it in order.
Oh
Oh
wow.
yeah.
So like I was like, oh, I get the hype.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were my Hamilton. Like
Nice. Heck
That's-
yeah.
What an honor, honestly. It's a side quest story. The first time I ever listened to Hamilton was accidentally out of order. Because
Oh.
it was my junior year of high school
Oh,
when that came
no.
out, and I was in a community college painting class, and I remember I was working on, my friend Sam Hassman had told me to listen to it, and I was like, okay. So I was working on Still Life, and I had Apple Music going, and it was on shuffle. I didn't realize it was on shuffle, so
Mhm.
I hear Alexander Hamilton, and then it goes straight to You'll Be Back, and then it goes to Burn,
Mhm.
and I was like, I'm really
Crazy.
confused
There's
right now.
lots of dialogue between these songs,
Mhm.
clearly.
and then it went from Burn to like A Winter's Ball.
Oh,
And
It's
I
just
was like,
what
hold
the
on.
heck?
And I looked at it and I was
What
like,
kind of
oh.
the out of
'Cause,
order
like-
storytelling?
'cause,
that
like-
is so funny.
because like Alexander Hamilton going straight, like the opening number going straight to You'll Be Back. I was like, oh, okay, it's like
Yeah,
a
makes
show about
sense.
American history. We were like
Yeah.
seeing like I was like, oh, I thought that like King George is going to be more of an antagonist throughout the show. Nah,
Mhm.
it's fine. Hamilton
Mhm.
on Truffle, very confusing.
A journey.
Mhm.
Truly.
Yes.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that was a fun.
That is
It
hilarious.
was a fun little. I don't get to show off with musical theater
Mhm.
ever, but when I do, I commit to the bit.
Yeah.
And going back to Andrew for a second, because I think it's so funny that you're like, okay, keep your mouth shut. Because I remember when like the casting came out, Andrew was like, "You're not ready for this," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Abby is gonna burn this house down
Nice.
with. It's gonna be so fire. You're not even ready." And I
Heck
was
yeah.
like, "Dude, I am so." And
Ugh.
he was right.
I do miss doing musical theater.
Mm.
Hamilton is not the musical theater I'm meant to do. But I do miss it.
What if we did a fighting musical? Like,
Dude, okay, so Jules has been talking about the fact she's working on a musical right now. And she was like, I really want us to do a musical with Reinvent. I'm like, I am not going to say no to anything at this point.
Wow.
Because I've just learned to not say no. I'm
Yeah.
open to everything at this point. There's a musical about this lady pirate that's so good.
wait, hold
It's
on.
so gay. It's so like, and like the music in it is, because it's just like a bunch of, was it sapphic
Mhm.
pirates? It's just,
Was it the one that Stephanie
a-
J. Block?
I think so.
Stephanie J. Block.
It's a bisexual fever dream because it's like pirates and sword fighting and singing and like all these beautiful
That's crazy.
people and like it's
She sings about being like a woman and how she's so
Yes.
powerful. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's like a really sexy like sword fight song that I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
man, this would be great.
How much are the rights? Let's do it.
Dude, but it is just like a I wish that there were more fighting musicals. Like if there was some way to put Epic on stage, I don't think that I think that show would be so nerfed if you put it on stage.
Mm.
I don't know. Jorge, hit me up. I got the ideas. I like have a whole. I remember I got so hyper fixated on Epic that I wrote down a whole like this is how it could work if you put it on stage.
That
thing.
is so funny.
Well, okay, listen. So anybody who's out there who wants to produce things, my 3 big musical theater roles that are fight tracks. Peter in Peter Pan. I'd pixie my hair again for
Mhm.
that in a heartbeat. Annabeth in Lightning Thief.
Mm.
And Athena in Epic the Musical.
Nice. Mhm.
If somebody can figure out how to put that on stage. So throwing it out there.
Come do it.
Yeah.
I'll bake you cookies.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a very different conversation than what I thought we were gonna have, but I think it's fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time.
I think
Mhm.
it gives us like more of an insight into the theater aspect that we have
Mhm.
with Reinvent. Like it's like, yes, we're nerds and stuff, but it's also like we have like a lot of really talented theater practitioners here.
Yeah.
So it's fun to talk shop. All right, before we wrap up this episode, Sierra, do you want to give any plugs or shout outs before we end?
Well, first and foremost, thank you. Shout out to Reinvent. Thanks for believing in me and teaching me how to do this and letting me stretch my artist muscle and try something new. Like, that was so fun. Thanks for having me. Shout out to my mama and my sister and everyone I've ever loved ever. Thank you for everything you've ever done for me.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Our next episode of Lore Drop is going to be with our dear friend Monica. She's going to be talking about Lady Earthquake and how she was an awesome villain on stage while also being pregnant.
Yeah.
I think that's super cool.
Baddie. I'm
Miss
obsessed with her.
Elliott had her stage debut in Ordinary Heroes while sitting upon her mother's bladder the entire time. So we're really excited to talk about that character. That's a character that out of all the characters in Ordinary Heroes, for the Universe 17 counterpart, Lady Earthquake is quite different from her Ordinary Heroes counterpart. So that's going to be a fun conversation.
So just one more thing. Don't forget to support local theater. Get to the theater. Watch shows. We need it more than ever right now. We're a community. Support your community and support the art.
Yeah.
I do want to say that.
We love that. Yes. Yeah. There's so much good stuff happening in Lubbock right now. And like just between all the other theaters in town, it's been a weird couple of years in Lubbock, but I think that we're in like a really nice, I feel like we're in a nice renaissance right now of like new things happening. So yeah, get out to the theater.
Get out to the theater. We need community. We need empathy and love more than ever. So
that is all for this episode of Lore Drop.
And remember,
being fantastic starts with being a fan. Good job.
Reinvent Productions is proudly sponsored by 5 Points Corporation Lubbock and Savannah Rashida Photography, as well as our other wonderful community patrons. Our home base in Lubbock is Hollingsworth Hall Cultural Center at 4228 Boston Avenue. For more information on how to support our 501c3 organization, you can check out our website at www.reinvent-productions.com. To directly support our upcoming audio drama, you can become a Lore Drop sponsor. For just $10, you can sponsor an episode of this podcast. All donations will go towards support for our upcoming production of Children of Destiny Cataclysm Season 1, which will begin releasing episodes June 22nd, 2026. Funds will go towards paying our wonderful voice actors and creative staff for their fantastic talent and time. We have over 30 artists globally working on this production, and we can't wait for you to hear it this summer. You can donate at givebutter.com/Lore Drop sponsor. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at reinvent.productions, as well as on Facebook and Twitch, where we stream gaming and a look behind the scenes on how we create our new works. Be sure to follow us to stay in the loop about upcoming productions, auditions, and more. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Lore Drop.